all the Barbie dolls and stuffed animals and was pretending that their whatever was in my hand was a chalk, and I was, making lesson plans and the worksheets I had from, school. I was teaching my kids, quote unquote, but my stuffed animals, that I would, at the end of the year, I would beg to keep the textbook because I needed it for my classroom. So that was me. That I was that kid, because I just always grew up loving kids, and loving educating other people. Now, what I do for a living is far, far, far from being a teacher. I am in banking. Now, how I drifted from that was, we'll add the personal into it. And this is a little advice, I guess you could say, people. Don't. So
She about to give
don't get
y'all a doozy.
don't don't get stuck on a boy, okay? And change your
We're
whole,
going to,
you
because
know.
thank you.
Yeah, so I literally graduated high school and went to college to become a teacher. I was getting my credits, and then I started
Fell in
dating.
love, fell in love, fell in
That,
love,
hold that
fell in
word.
love.
That word makes me nauseous. Okay, hold on.
But
And
then,
what's that one?
but meanwhile, niggas out here like money over bitches, and we like, but
Right.
I love
But
you.
I love you. Right. So I fell in love with my my daughter's father. And all of a sudden, classes went from like I was going every single day on time, submitting work, to like, oh no, I want to hang out with you.
Yep.
So I stopped going and I dropped out of school. So then I went into retail, and then about a year into our relationship, surprise, I'm pregnant.
What?
So yeah,
That's crazy.
but yeah.
How does that happen?
Well,
That's a conversation for another day.
I mean, I was going to school to be a teacher, so I can talk to you, in a kindergarten way. Well, when a mommy and a daddy love
The
each other
birds and the
very, very
bees.
much, they hug each other real tight, right? So,
Real tight.
so real tight. And boom, baby. So, yeah, so I had my daughter at 21, and then reality smacked me in the face twice, because it's like, yo, you got to provide for yourself, and you have to provide for your family and for your new child. So, you don't have time to continue to work retail. You don't have time to continue to, do your classes or whatever. So I started working at the first bank that I went to. And when I say I started at the bottom, I was in collections on the phone, crying every day, people being escorted out on stretchers because they're under so much stress to hit their goals. So I was in that department for 6 months, and I was like, this ain't for me. So then I ended up moving to the fraud department. And that was actually a task force, because my manager saw that I was stressed, and he was like, you got to go. And I was like, I agree. I got put on a task force, and that was, and I would think that was on there for like a year. And then finally somebody was like, they saw like, you're good at teaching people. I'm like, it's funny you say that, because I went to school to be a teacher. Why don't you, become like a SME, subject matter expert, in the credit team in the same company? So I was like, all right, went over to the credit department, still kind of risk or whatever. And then from there, I was like, okay, that's how I ended up being where I'm in. And now, as far as I'm in more so the risk review aspect and the credit aspect, in my field. So completely two different worlds. Absolutely. One does not have to do with the other. Matter of fact, I deal with adults more than I deal with children. But how everything now, it has come full circle, because I used to say, I'll go back to school because I only had a few credits left. And that's the disgusting part. I stopped and only had a few credits left. But how it has come full circle is that at my church, I'm a Sunday school teacher. So I get the interaction with the kids. And then it kind of was like, it dawned on me by doing that, I don't really want to necessarily be in a classroom with kids.
Child.
Um,
I go on field trips, and I'm like,
5 days
ooh.
a week. Yeah.
I
And I
don't
think
go on
maybe,
nobody's field trips, and I always decline to be a Sunday school teacher. They ask me every year. No,
no,
I like my kids. What?
yeah.
That's
And
it.
see, and see, that's the funny part. It goes into like even episodes of people how judging and stuff. No one knew, because again, I'm coming in unwed mother, 20, well, at that time 24, 25, with a 3, 4, 5 year old, and tattoos and everything. And then I walked in, and they're like, "Oh, you're really good with kids. Have you ever considered about being a Sunday school teacher?" Da 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 da. So now I went from being the assistant teacher to the head teacher, and I'm the youth director. And then it's funny. I had a conversation with everyone, and they're like, "Have you ever considered about being a teacher?" I'm like, "I went to school to be a teacher. What?
Yeah.
Like, see, y'all try to play me. But but yeah, definitely. So that's how like I've come full circle. Like it was the best thing I never had as far as I didn't get to professionally be a teacher. But it's kind of like my little hobby on the side, and I love my kids wholeheartedly. Like, and so I kind of do get my little. I do have a normally in my class I have maybe 4 or 5 kids. Being the youth director, I have in charge of like 30, 40, which is like a normal size classroom, and it's a lot. So kudos to all the teachers who are out here, especially with us being in quarantine. I have to homeschool my own child.
Right.
I'm starting to realize sometimes when a teacher would text me stuff, I'm like, oh, it was true. Oh, all right. Ain't gonna happen again when you go back into
It's
school.
always true.
Yeah. So
No,
kudos
y'all
to the
really feel
teacher.
like that? I'm always on my kid's side. I be
When
like,
no.
I be like, Zoo. I said, I'll ask my children. I said, my role is to always advocate on your behalf. So it's me and you against this. Do I have to smack your teacher? That's literally how the conversation.
But you want to know what? So most of the time, it's the teacher telling me that the kids have said something smart.
Yeah,
It's
and I believe it.
no, it's
Okay,
true.
but that's not your problem though. That's that falls under classroom management. Figure it out. Don't text me none of that.
If I tell you some of the things that Jason has said, it's been out of line and
Jason is a
inappropriate.
comedian though. It's not like for
That's
real.
the thing. He ain't Kevin Hart. He don't got no checks. So when he
don't do that, what did Kevin Hart do? He told his mama told him to go tell that teacher.
Yeah, what did he do? You know what I'm saying? What did he do?
I don't have time.
So
he be in there playing.
Oh, exactly. Like this year was like nothing but girl drama. I believe it. Layla petty. I can't stand it. And I told her teacher, I said, if you message me one more time, I'm going to call a meeting with all the parents. And her dad and I are going to come up there and y'all going to see a whole different side. Because I try to keep it cute with the teacher because, you're a black teacher with all these black kids. I don't know why you got stuck with all the black kids. I feel some kind of way. But you put all these black kids in one classroom with this black teacher, they're not used to it. They are suburban. You know what I'm saying? So I was like, if you don't handle it, I'm gonna show y'all how to handle it quickly. And I had the reminders again. I went to school to be a teacher, so I know how things are supposed to be. Try me.
More power to y'all. I don't do it. The most I can do is have conversations with people, and then I'll say, that's not a space I'm willing to go into because I don't know. So no, I don't teach nobody nothing. I don't even like doing trainings at work. It's like, why y'all? What? Like the way I do it might not be the right way. It's just the way that's happening right now.
Yeah, true.
You
I love it.
You want me to tell y'all what?
No.
So that's good though. But like you said, you did come full circle. So you always felt like you were drawn to being able to, educate folks and give people the path in which they would be able to understand different subject matter, and it's shown up. So I mean, I think I think it's better that way.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah,
because teachers don't get paid enough either. So I'm kind of glad I ended up
that's that part.
I would not be able to survive.
That's that part.
That's true.
I know. When I started seeing them checks, I'm like, how much these teachers make? No, I'm good. I don't know how. That's why I donate as much as I can to the classroom. I know y'all struggling.
I do that too. Like whenever they have, I can't remember what website it is, but it sends me stuff and it'd be like, donor something, and it'd be like, this classroom needs supplies for this, or this teacher wants to do this particular project. I'll send the money, and then I'll send a link to everybody. Like, y'all give her money because I
low-key wanted my toilet paper and hand sanitizer back because when this pandemic happened,
you send toilet paper to school, or you mean tissues?
No, paper towels. Excuse me, paper towels and hand sanitizer because I kind of need that back.
Well, as of earlier this week, neither one of my children are going back to school, which we already talked about. We knew that, but it's just also it's heartbreaking for them because there's a lot of transitions in our life right now, and they're not going to see their friends again. Like, so it's just like, damn. But like you said, being home with the kids now during this whole what are we calling it? Is it quarantine, social distancing, lockdown? Who knows? What's the
word? Did you hear that they were trying to change it too from social distancing to physical distancing because they said that it has a negative connotation because we're not actually socially distancing ourselves. We're all staying together. We're just physically distancing ourselves. That's the new term.
It don't matter. People are literally only saying quarantine most of the time.
That's it.
Yeah, we're stuck. You want simple it, make it simple, stuck. Can't go nowhere. All done.
But so being
Pause.
stuck, we are as mothers learning. Oh, got it. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
More power to the mothers who have already been homeschooling. Like I know a woman by association. So a couple who I used to go to church with when I went to a church in New Jersey, they have a friend. She's a photographer, but then she has 3 children. She has 2 boys and a girl, and she's homeschooled all of them. And they are now, I think, if I could be messing up their ages. They are maybe between 12 and the youngest is the girl, so the girl might be like 8.
Mm-hmm.
What? That's what you do all the time with all 3 of them?
Absolutely not.
Thank you.
Right now, I got the 10-year-old and the almost 14-year-old. That's enough, and let's hurry up and finish this.
Right. Right. And I don't ever want to do it again.
And y'all got multiples. I got 1. No, thank you. One's enough, and y'all got, so bless y'all.
Yes, bless y'all. Please.
Woo. So Shanice, tell us your path.
So I guess for me, the best thing I never had, I changed my mind a lot as a kid, just like I kind of do now about what I want to do. So in time, I wanted to be a pediatrician. I'm like, oh, I can help kids. So I feel like I've always known that I wanted to be able to help children. And then I did want to be a teacher. Specifically, I wanted to be a Spanish teacher. So I really liked learning.
Do you know Spanish?
Yeah, actually, I know a lot of Spanish.
Okay, I was like, I didn't know that. How you? Okay.
So I really, really enjoyed learning Spanish.
Mm-hmm.
And I feel like I wanted to be able to study abroad and then come back and be a Spanish. Like, how dope would it be to have this cute little young Black teacher who teaches y'all Spanish? Because I just feel like that would be a good place. And I would know how to engage the kids, because sometimes I feel like when you're taught a second language, the teacher that teaches you doesn't connect with you. So it's a lot harder for you to learn it. Yeah. So I think it was a skill that I could connect with the kids, especially Black kids, and make sure that they could have Spanish as a second language so they can use it when it's time for them to actually go to work. Mm-hmm. But my mission got a little derailed, kind of like Jen.
Babies. Kind of like me too. Like I just said, like all of us. That first kid came and you're like, whoa, all right,
that's true. And I guess we must have done
like map readjusting. Sorry, like GPS. Oops, rerouting.
In order, because I had my first child. So as soon as I graduated high school, I feel like a week later, I was like, hey, Jen.
Yeah. That was I was like, what? You were doing it?
Oh my God. So I was so scared. I called Jen, like, what's another 17-year-old going to say to another 17-year-old about what they need to do?
A baby.
So we talked through it. There were some tears, mainly mine. And
yeah, because I didn't know what to say besides you were doing it. So I'm behind.
So I actually got into University of Delaware. So I went to like orientation and everything, and then I told my parents. Now my parents told me, you need to still go to school. We will pay for it. We'll make sure that you can move forward, like finish your classes, and we will help you. I think that is admirable of them. Like who can complain about that? However, I felt like it was my responsibility. This is my mistake. This is my responsibility to move forward. No. Hey,
life event.
That was
life event. Life event.
No.
Life event.
I'm going to call a spade a spade. That was not supposed to happen.
That's why he's at school being a comedian.
I don't care. You want to know what? It was not purposeful. And I feel like, no, I'm certainly going to tell my children, please don't make that same error. That's a faux pas.
Yeah.
Like at the end of the day, that was not a life event. I don't want my kids to be calling it thinking it's a life event. No, because it will change your life dramatically. It's not to say that I love him any less. First of all, he gets away with murder.
I'm gonna say that's my firstborn too. I love him to death. He can't do no wrong.